So here we go. The first step of building our new Perlite Pizza Oven is to create this form. This is a form that we previously used for the vermiculite ovens that we built. And it's pretty simple, it's just a bit of plywood, small 2x4. As you can see, we cut the first circle out a bit big. So we just replaced that with a bit more plywood that we already cut out. And the fit ball is gonna sit in this hole. And as if by magic, we now have a ball. So when we built our last oven, we used this form for the doorway and we just shoved it up against here. But as you can see, we've got a bit of damage here and I didn't really want this imprinting on the inside of the oven doorway. So what we're gonna do is take this apart and fix it up. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that all we used here, this material was just a very cheap chopping board, which you could get from like a dollar shop or something. What we're gonna do is upgrade this, because this is way too flimsy. I had a spare bit of off-cut plastic lying around, which is nice and flexible, and I'm gonna replace it. So what we need to do is remove this, probably take off this piece, and we'll see how we go. Hopefully we can get it to fit. So the issue we have now is that this really thin material could fit in these little gaps. And we did that just so it was a nice clean finish. What it looks like I'm gonna have to do is take this piece off, trim a small gap in here so that this material can fit. Probably not much here, but definitely some at the top. And then reattach the whole thing together. Wish me luck. So the first step of getting this correct was that we had to take this piece out, trim probably about 1 millimeter off the edge here, but not enough so that the screws can't screw in again. And it's just enough so that this material can fit inside. There's probably no pretty way of doing this, to be honest. We'll just persevere and get this back in here. And that just squeezes in against the material. And then we can seal that up with a glue. Now from here, we'll reattach some of these pieces. And then this interior piece. Now I might beef this bit of material up so that we can screw through the plastic into that second piece of form to straighten up the doorway, or the tunnel, I guess, is what we could call it. I don't know the proper term for it. So yeah, that's worked out quite well. What we might do is seal up inside here with some sort of glue, maybe silicone, just to get a nice finish, especially on this side. So that's the kind of gunky stuff I was trying to remove with the screwdriver. We're going to try to remove any kind of this old silicone and maybe re-silicone that once this is screwed back together. That way it will give us a nice smooth inside of our oven archway tunnel is what we're going to call it. So from here, as you can see, this is kind of billowing out, it's kind of flowing out here. What we need to do is tuck this in so we can get this edge coming up straight, vertical, or as vertical as we can get it. So what I might do is pre-drill a hole through here and then just put a screw lightly through there, just try to hold it. May end up having to build this bit of material up a bit more and then put another screw in. Pretty unlikely that we're going to get away with screwing into the plywood. Might give it a go. Probably with a smaller screw it might be okay. So when dealing with a situation like this, where we're needing to drill through plastic and then put a screw through it, we need to drill a pilot hole through the plastic, and the hole should be just wider than the screw so it doesn't crack the plastic. Had issues with that in the past, so I might give it a go into this side to go straight into the side of this 2x4. Now we could countersink this hole. I'm just going to give it a go and just see how it goes without countersinking it. I'm going to go on a slow speed on the drill. You could do this by hand at the end, just to make sure it doesn't crack the plastic. Oh no, oh no, oh no. So, take two, and we've done away with the scrap plastic I had, and we've replaced it with Corflute or Corex. This material gets used for real estate signs quite often. It's really cheap, you can probably find it anywhere, but it's just a good solution because it's quite flexible and it's able to get in that gap. So I was quite lucky to find another bit of material. So now we have our tunnel all sorted out. Now, one issue you might have when you put this up against the fit ball is that you're going to have gaps. So you need to cut a slight slither out of here. So probably about 20 millimeters from the top, and then draw a line down, maybe a bit further, maybe 30 millimeters. This is actually probably quite a good guide. So I would go from here just down to the outside and here. That way, when it goes on the ball, the round curve of the ball, it will fit nice and snug. So here's a good example of what I was talking about. When we put our tunnel form up against the fit ball, you can see that there's going to be gaps down in this side. Therefore, we do need to just cut a slight semicircle out of the top, and then it should fit up snug against the ball. One of the ways we stop the form from moving is we just screw down some little pieces around the edges to really lock it in place, so there's no way it can move or pivot and therefore end up in the wrong place.
As always, if you like these videos, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're a new viewer.